Welcome back to Kick Past Discuss as we now into the finals. I'm Kieren.
And I'm Jax. Today, we'll be talking about general NRL news, the game last week that we didn't cover about the Sharks vs Raiders, and the teams in the finals and how we think they're going to do.
But first, let's get to that news. So, we've got two topics to cover in our news today. First of all, Melbourne fullback Ryan Papenhuyzen. It has returned last week against the Broncos win 32-22. After suffering from a shattered knee, which is pretty bad, but he had a really good game last week, and now he's hopefully going to be back most weeks, not being injury prone. So good luck to him. What's in our other news agenda, Jax?
Well, ref Ben Cummins is going to retire soon.
Oh, yeah, that is right. So Ben Cummins has put down his whistle now, set to retire, which is probably a bit of a shame, I'd say, Jax, because he was probably one of the better refs, I'd think. More people liked him because, reffing's obviously a hard job, right?
Yeah, refing it takes a lot of it just
Courage.
takes a lot of knowledge to be able to be able to just tell when everything's going on because some people think this and some people think that, and you just have to be not biased. So
Yeah.
it's really he was really good as a ref.
Yeah, because, fans will never really always like refs. Refs will never fully be respected. You always hear boo ref chants at games and stuff, but yeah, he was one of the better refs, so it's sad to see him go.
Yeah, honestly, it's just people going for their teams, and when the ref goes against that decision, they just don't like it. You
Yeah.
know. But how about we go into that Sharks versus Raiders game?
Oh,
Kieren, what did you think about that?
yeah, so that's a game we didn't cover. Look, Jax, you tipped the Sharks, I tipped the Raiders, so sadly you do get that point in tipping.
Yeah,
But
it's 24-6, so what a smashing. And I remember you said last week how if the Raiders didn't win against the Sharks this week, then they just kind of don't really deserve to be in the top 8. So how do you feel about that statement?
yeah, it's honestly a bit like a wasted spot if you know what I mean. Parramatta could have been there, but Raiders had a bad
Oh,
start to the season. Then they were playing good, and then they just fade out, but still make the finals. But yeah, bit of a
Raiders
disappointment.
have they ever won? Have they ever won the grand final? Because
Yeah,
I'm not too. Yeah,
yeah.
that was the Warriors, wasn't it?
Everyone's pretty much won the grand final. I think the only teams that haven't are the Warriors, Titans, and obviously the Dolphins because they only started this year.
Yeah, yeah. I really hope the Raiders win because that'll be their first. It'll just be a really cool achievement.
Yeah, Raiders. I don't remember when their last premiership was, but hopefully they'll get it soon. Anyway, now let's look at finals round one for 2023. Who
Nice.
who do we got, Jax? What are our games this week?
Well, first of all, we got the Broncos versus the Storm. That's gonna be a pretty good match to
And
watch. It's
and
top.
Jax, remember last week? It's like 2 weeks in a row. I think that happened last year. It was two teams versed each other twice in a row because last week on Thursday night it was Broncos and Storm, so we get a double matchup now.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I'm guessing since last week's tactics are gonna be old news now because they're versing each other in the finals, and now it's gotten serious.
Yeah. And then game two, we've got the Panthers and Warriors. So Panthers
That's it.
in first place and Warriors in fourth place, I
Fourth.
believe.
Yeah, it's a bit of a difference in the top four, but it's
Yeah.
still the top four teams. So
And then after
kind of,
that, we also have Sharks and Roosters, which will be the first sudden death game this week. So whichever of those two teams do not win, their grand final hopes of 2023 will die. So I think there'll be a massive clash. But yeah.
week is the Raiders versus Knights. Two solid teams that have been playing solidly.
Yeah, I think Raiders and Knights look. Raiders obviously not as solid, but Knights. I honestly think Knights do deserve to be up there. They've been showing greatness lately.
Yeah, but how about we give our tips on who we think is going to win?
Who do you got for Broncos and Storm, Jax?
Well, it's honestly a tough one. Storm's just consistently good, but I want to see Broncos play in the final. But yeah, I guess I go Broncos for that one.
Yeah, last week the Storm did win, but then again, Reece Walsh and all the good players that we've talked about previously, they've all been rested for the Broncos. But I got to agree with you, Jax. I'm going Broncos to win. And then game two, Sean Johnson, who's the halfback for Warriors, just in case you didn't know, he will not be playing for game two. So I will be going for the Panthers to win the second game. What about you, Jax?
Yeah, it just seems too easy, Panthers. They've just got a reputation for winning. They're just the definition of winning this decade.
I know. Grand final probably for them again.
The third game we've got is the Sharks versus the Roosters, and I feel like this is the most even game
Yeah.
because the Roosters have that really good momentum, but the Sharks winning against the Raiders have also just been really good. So it's really hard to decide. I guess I'll just pick the opposite of what you choose.
Then that means you're going Sharks, Jax, because like you said, Roosters are on great momentum, so I'm gonna say Roosters bandwagon.
All right. Well, what about Game 4, Kieren?
Yep, game four we have the Knights and the Raiders. Look, I think that might be a bit of an easy one. Knights all the way.
Yeah, Newcastle Knights. It's just Raiders. If you really Raiders, come on,
I mean,
come on.
for one thing I like about the Raiders is their coach, because if you think about their coach, Ricky Stewart, he's just really passionate for the team, because when the Raiders score, even if they're losing to the worst team in the whole comp by 1 point, if they score, he just goes wild, and I just love to see that, because you never really see any coaches that just jump when their team scores, but I like the coach for the Raiders.
Yeah. He's just got his own plan.
Yeah.
He's just like a wild. He's just like a wild card. You never know what he's gonna do. However, I think that's gonna end our podcast episode today.
Yep, sadly you're right, Jax. Make sure to check out our Sunday episode, which we'll release on Sunday, and then we'll also be reviewing the finals rounds. I'm not sure if we'll have the Raiders and Knights game done by then, but we'll have a look and then we'll review our tips, all of that, and yeah, make sure to check it out on Sunday.
We're just starting with the finals, and we'll see you on Sunday.
And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which will be in the podcast description. See ya.